Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Medicine Buddha. Hi, Denise. Hi, everyone. So good to see people coming in. Hi, 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 Sharon. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. It's so cool that Lama Rod, when he's away, makes it possible for us to gather anyway, because I know I just need this on Monday night. I need to see you all in your little boxes. I need the practice. I need the practice. When I just came from a retreat. Actually, Eric just came from a retreat too. So we're buzzing. We're sending the energy of our retreats through the airwaves to you. And both of us spent our retreats practicing Medicine Buddha. So I think we're going to fly tonight together. And also, one of the things I did moving toward tonight was I went back and read the prayers from the last several weeks. And, I just want to give a deep bow to this community. And what's in those prayers is so much heart. And I feel like a deep bow to all of you who are struggling with illness or other people's illness, people you're taking care of, people you love, deaths of people that you love, your own deaths, struggling with giving birth, with everything. Like in those prayers is everything, our worries about the world, our yearning for justice in the world, everything is in those prayers. And I love that. I love that that's the kind of heart of our practice together, or one of them. There's a couple of hearts. But Eric is going to put the prayer, the Google Doc prayer, the Google Doc that contains the prayers in the chat. And I hope that everyone is invited to put your prayers there. We're going to do them tonight. And also, if anyone's here for the first time, please let us know so we can welcome you. This is a kind of wild, special place. And if you're new to Medicine Buddha, and even if you're new to Tibetan Buddhism, just hang in there and do the practice. Just keep doing the practice. When I started doing this practice, I was just, stalking Lama Rod, really. I thought, whatever he's doing, I'm sure I want to do it. And so I was like hanging on, and it was really like hanging on for a very wild ride. And I just didn't know a lot of times, what is this? And I still don't know what is this. But it's a practice that is very powerful. And also, I just want to acknowledge our teacher, Lama Rod. One of the things I did during my retreat was I reread Love and Rage, and I had read it before. But if you haven't read it lately, it's an incredible book. There is a lot in it. And I was so grateful to have found this teacher really after so many decades of practice. And he always seems to be saying exactly what I need to keep going, to keep going on my path. And, when he talked about how this is the work of many lifetimes, I had to really take that in. It's not that we can't really aspire and really want to be completely liberated in this lifetime. I do think that's possible. But I also think about how I had decades of practicing when it really felt like I was beating my head against the wall. I'm like decades, not just hours. And if we just keep practicing and have a great teacher, an authentic teacher, we do break through, like the plane takes off and goes through the clouds and you can't see anything, and then you're above the clouds and you're realizing, that's where I was going all along. And we hear in Buddhism that practice has two wings like a bird, and the two wings are compassion and what's the other one? I keep forgetting because I'm going to give you another one. Compassion and
Wisdom.
wisdom. Yes, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. Yes. So on this retreat, please feel free to chime in at any time. I needed that. So okay, wisdom and compassion. But my root teacher, which is also a tantric tradition, taught a different image of the bird. And what she taught was that the two wings of the bird are self-effort and grace. And I like that even more because we do have to show up. And it's so hard to show up sometimes, you know, and you know what showing up is. It's like you just don't do anything on Monday night or that's what it is for me sometimes. And then sometimes I fly places or I drive places or I just make time to just be with my practice and nothing interrupts it. And there's a cost to that, you know. We give up stuff to prioritize our practice once we realize that the most important thing is our practice. We have to rearrange our lives and things fall away and people fall away. So that's the self-effort. But the grace is about the unseen world. And there was a prayer a few weeks back from someone who just really touched my heart. The prayer was about not quite believing in the unseen world, feeling a little silly to believe in the unseen world as though we're grown people believing in Santa Claus, you know. And I loved that because yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we're playing Let's Pretend, and we play Let's Pretend for a long time. Sometimes before we realize, oh, there's someone there. Oh, I really am connected to the unseen world. And at this time, we have to connect to the unseen world. I love that Lama Rod talks about that, because that has become my biggest priority in my practice is that connection. And when he said in a recent course, I forget which one, he said a shaman is someone who holds the space between this world and the unseen world, the phenomenal world, the relative world and the unseen world. That's what a shaman is. My head exploded. Because we kind of all need to be shamans now. We all need to hold that space. And I've been reflecting on how that started in my life. And I realized, like yesterday, sometime on my retreat, I realized that it was when I was 8 years old that I just had it with the carceral state, with samsara, with this world. I just had it. I was in complete despair. And I didn't trust anyone, no one. And so what I did was I started talking to God. And actually, I was a little kid who walked around the playground in circles talking to God. I had no friends. I mean, no wonder I had no friends, really. But it was really helpful, because the thing about the unseen world is no matter who you choose to talk to in the unseen world, they hear you. They hear you, and eventually you get this sense, I can keep doing this because there's a connection here. And David says, I would have been your friend. Thank you. That's beautiful. You all would have been my friend. You were probably doing the same thing. But we found each other now. We found each other now. And it's very possible that we've been doing this many times before. Maybe we've been nuns and monks together in many other lifetimes, or done other wild and crazy things. There's a lot of wild and crazy things I can think of that maybe we did together, but this is not the first time we've been doing this. So I never realized that before, that was when I started this particular journey of believing that the unseen world could free me from what I was experiencing. And later I was a pastor of a church. It was a time of great despair. It was a queer church. There was AIDS in New York City. And Jesus was a portal. Jesus was a portal who kept showing up in a really tangible way. And in such a powerful way that we had no doubt that it was a gift to be an LGBTQ person. And even some of the people who had AIDS would talk about, actually said, this is a gift to me because I didn't understand what human life was until I realized I was dying. And a lot of those young men, it was as though there was a light within them as they were dying. You could just see it. And so Jesus was a portal, and why? Because we had faith, and because we were desperate, because the carceral state, the samsara, was so unbearable that we knew we needed part of our bodies and spirits and minds to be in the unseen world. And so we held that space for each other. And I was at my lowest point, I think, spiritually, when I found a teacher in India. I did not want a teacher in India. I did not want a guru. I did not particularly want to have gods and goddesses, and I didn't want that. But when I touched her energy, I knew that I'd always been a motherless child. And I had a good mother, but I touched her energy, and she was half a world away. She was in India. So of course I had to go to India. This is the part of, you just know that you have to do whatever it is to go as deep as you want to go, to really be free. All those layers. And so and she's a beautiful teacher, and I was with her for a really long time, 20 years or so. And I never had a conversation with her. She never knew my name. I was just with thousands of people all the time. And when I met Lama Rod, I thought, I don't need a teacher. I've had this incredible tantric teacher. And he was in his 30s. I was in my 60s. He's so young. And then, it wasn't long before I realized, oh, I need this teacher. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for so many reasons. And not the least of which is the people that are drawn to him. Just never seems to fail. The people, you and so many others all over the world that are drawn to him, understand something so deep about what is happening in the world, in the planet, in ourselves, in the human soul. And we understand something about what we need to do and who we need to be. Thank you. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for everything that brought you here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. So one thing I don't want to forget to say is definitely reread Love and Rage if you haven't lately. It's like, I promise you the second time is going to blow your head off again. And also, if you get the newsletter, I'm sure you do. If you don't get the newsletter, you can just sign up on Lama Rod's website. But there was a very tantalizing thing lately where if you pre-ordered his book, which I hope everyone has, it's going to be out October 31st. You get a free gift. You just click on the link if you've pre-ordered the book, and you get a little piece of the new book, and it's just amazing. So I just Eric put that link in the chat. It's just amazing. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention it so everyone takes advantage of that, because we all get a lot of email and you could miss it. So I want to just talk about Medicine Buddha for a minute and then do a little practice, and then we'll do the Medicine Buddha practice. On my retreat, I really could have done any kind of practice, but I found that all I wanted to do was Medicine Buddha. And I was a little surprised by that. But I kept being drawn in by these mantras. And Om Menla Sangye Kino, the introductory mantra, I found myself saying it like a prayer, like tenderly, like you would sing to a sleeping baby. And then sometimes I found myself singing it really loud to all the trees. And it's such a beautiful prayer, Medicine Buddha, see me, come here. I need you. I need this portal to open so that I can feel your presence. And, for a very long time, I didn't necessarily feel the energy of these mantras, but I just kept doing them. And especially since Lama Rod has talked about, how to do this, to do the introductory mantra, and then to do with a mala. I use a mala, the main mantra. For a long time I did it, but I didn't really feel the energy of the mantra. And the thing about it, and now I'm really feeling it. It's startling sometimes. It just takes a while, So I just want to encourage everyone to just keep going, just keep returning to the practice. Because it's like we're digging a very deep well, inside. We're digging through our practice, which isn't just all efforting. Remember the grace that helps to relax as we're kind of reaching, as we're relaxing, but as we're also, the effort of doing the practice. And I think that doing the same practice a lot is very fruitful, because we just go deeper and deeper. And what happens is, just like digging a well, we hit water, we really hit like water. And then it's like we're swimming in it. So the main mantra, I recently have been thinking a lot about what it means, and I've been thinking about Jesus saying, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for justice." And I realize how deeply I want an end to systems of violence. Like, I remember I remember being a radical lesbian separatist feminist back in the 70s, and how we would say, I want a woman's revolution like a lover. I lust for it. I want so much an end to this fear and lies that we all exhale, that I could just die with the uttering of that desire. That's all that drama, that we were into then. But I feel that now. I feel how much I want an end to white supremacy and capitalism and mass incarceration and this trashing of the planet. And, how much I want that, how much I want all the people who are refugees to be welcomed, how much I want all the people who are hungry to be fed, how much I can't stand that people are homeless. I just can't stand it. And that's what's in this prayer. I pray for an end to suffering and the root of suffering. And I send this energy out into all the world so that we all might be freed, liberated. That's what's in this prayer. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for that, for they shall be filled. And it's in all the traditions. I don't know all the traditions, but it's kind of like from the prophets, from the Hebrew scriptures, what is required of us to love God, to love mercy and justice, to walk humbly. It's all in there. It's all in the scriptures. And in Tantra, and with a teacher, that's opened up in such a powerful way. And what's happening, I think, through these practices is that portals are opening so that we can sort of pour that into the world. That's what these practices do. And there's great power in that, and great comfort in that. Because, the shit is just getting deeper and deeper, isn't it? I mean, really. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. And so one of the things I love, there's so many things I love, but I just love this idea that Lama Rod has taught over and over again, which is we just have to deepen our practice. Like I just bought this book. I haven't read it yet, but Let This Radicalize You, that book. I'm going to read it. I knew I had to read it. But I love that idea, like all this that weigh on us that we can't stand, Yes, we just have to let it radicalize us, and we have to let it fuel our practice. And keep showing up, keep going with that effort, even when it feels dry, but also remember the grace. Because if we're touching this teacher, if we're touching these practices, there is a tremendous amount of grace that is flowing into us. Let this radicalize you rather than lead us to despair. Thank you, Raf. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And so the other thing about Tantra is that it starts with despair, of course. Like, how else are we going to decide that the most important thing is getting free? By getting really sick and tired of this. It starts there, but these practices, these tantric practices, these communities of practice, like this one, lead us to a very different place, a very sweet place. My root teacher used to say, if you just keep practicing, it's like alchemy. We become pure gold. And she used to say, eventually you can taste the sweetness dripping in the back of your throat as you're practicing. And I know what she was saying. There's a tremendous sweetness in these practices. So what I'd like to do is a little 7 homecomings practice real quick, kind of 7 homecomings, because 7 homecomings is going to be a long practice, but I'm only gonna have us do the first 3. But I love the 7 homecomings practice, and also, yeah, let's just do that. I just felt like we need to do that. So remember the opening sequence. Listen to your body. What does your body want right now? Just don't boss it around. Let it be how it wants to be. um, and kind of feel into it, and how you'd like to. Yeah, and you can get up and dance, Marianne. That would be just fine. Whatever your body wants to do, please, please. And bring your attention to the seat so that you can let yourself be grounded, connected to the earth, held by the seat. And we begin with gratitude, invoking the energy of gratitude. So much to be grateful for if we're able to be in this place with these people, doing these practices of this teacher. But whatever it is that you want to pour out your gratitude for, to receive and be held in that energy of gratitude. And then, of course, our intention. We practice so that we can be free, and that we can help as many people as possible to be free, so that everyone can be free. We practice to be free, and so that everyone can be free. And when you're ready, bring to mind your teachers. You can just bring to your homecoming circle here, one teacher, or many may come to you. It doesn't matter. Let them come and be with you. Maybe a person, maybe an unseen being, maybe an animal. But remembering what it is like to be in their presence and bringing them here. And feeling that particular energy. And letting it fill you. And relaxing in it. And allow yourself to be held by it. A teacher, a guide, an elder who you trust, or more than one. What has it felt like to be able to look to them? And what have you received? Receive it now. And when you're ready, bring to mind teachings that have helped you along. What is it that you've heard or read? Books, essays, music, art. What are the things that are part of the boat that seems to be carrying you across the ocean of the world? What do you rely on? What have you relied on that you want to call back, read again, listen to again? Hold close. Let those teachings be here too. And when you're ready, consider community. Consider this community. Consider any community you've ever been a part of where you felt like, yeah, this person gets me. These people accept me. This is somewhere I can grow and thrive and be. Who are the people who support your aspiration for freedom, who support your practice, who don't think you're crazy, who have that same hunger and thirst, perhaps, for justice, for freedom, and for everyone to be free. So you know the rest of the homecoming circle. I'm not going to go through it, but you know your ancestors, your lineage, the earth, silence, yourself. This is such a beautiful practice. So can this homecoming circle, I wonder if it can be for us this sort of cloud of care and light and love that is surrounding us, and let us just take it in. And we can invite this circle, this love, this care, this inspiration into our very bodies, you know. As we begin the practice of Medicine Buddha, we're sitting among this homecoming circle. And so we can let our full hearts be in these chants, in these prayers. Om Minla Sangye Kino, Soha, O Medicine Buddha. Please see me. See me in all that I am, in all of this that I've evoked from my life, from my soul. See me, minister to me, love me, heal me, hold me, so that I can hold what it is that I have to hold. And I like doing Om first together. I like that. And then chanting and then humming it a few times. You know, it is said that when we receive a mantra like this from a teacher, the mantra becomes the teacher. And the energy of the teacher is in that mantra. And the meaning of the mantra is in the mantra. So just relaxing into it. And also, yes, reaching for the unseen world is exactly like playing Let's Pretend. But as we chant this mantra, we'll do Om first. Really have it be like, I'm inviting you here, Medicine Buddha, and I know that you're going to come. Okay. Om. Om in la sangye kino soha. Om in la sangye kino soha. Om in la sangye kino soha. When we chant and when we hum together, we're actually shifting the vibration in our bodies. And when we chant and hum together with this kind of intention that we're doing tonight, we're shifting more than just the vibration in our bodies. And this main mantra, like this, I pray for the end of suffering. That prayer has all the passion of really wanting justice, really wanting an end to the suffering in our bodies and in our communities. Like this, I pray for an end to suffering and the root of suffering. And I send this prayer, we send this prayer out to all the worlds, that we may all be free, that we may all be liberated. So anyway, let's chant. We'll just chant for a little while, then we'll say the prayers. I just happen to have this drum. I never use it except for this. I think I have it for this. Om te ata om begidze begidze maha begidze Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha Teata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Raza Zumungate Soha. We lift up these prayers to all the unseen beings in all the worlds, to our guides, to our ancestors who are able to help us and want to help us, to all the great beings who are actively working in this world to bring about our aspiration for healing, for freedom. We lift up these prayers. We pray for Raph and Jillian dealing with COVID. Matt, Christman, Amber Rollo, their newborn baby, and all their beloveds, we pray for them. We lift up Mariah and Z. We lift up striking workers and their families. We lift up the Stop Cop City movement. We pray for Carla and Francesca. May they be healthy. May they be well. May their ancestors and benefactors be with them every day, offering love and support. Prayers for Stefania as she endures in continued chemotherapy treatments. May she experience healing and may she know loving kindness. Prayers for the citizens of Yanceyville, North Carolina, my little hometown, dealing with youth violence, especially the families of the shooter, the wounded, and the dead. Prayers for Rachel as she receives treatment for a severe burn. Prayers for all those numbly going through the motions, from death to bed, to desk, to bed, yes, trying to stay present for loved ones while doing this mind-numbing game to pay for safety and medicine. For all those experiencing depression and abandonment. For all those who need to put down their mother wounds and father wounds and have a hard time doing so. For all those who are called to move beyond the harm that has defined them for so long. For all those who feel the burden of isolation and solitude in the presence of their loved ones. Prayers for the Crisco family who are grieving and for Charles Crisco as he navigates the Bardo. Prayers for Grace as she settles into a new home far away from her son. May they both have the courage and faith to lean into love. Prayers for all those who are struggling with depression, addiction, and suicidality. May they know they are loved and held. Prayers for those of us feeling lost in despair. Prayers for clarity and courage. Prayers for me as I clear my space and aura of negative energies. Prayers for Renee's daughter battling cancer and her whole family. Prayers that I may be clearly guided and lean into faith and trust for the next steps. Prayers for Sonia, Dawn, Robinson, and to her family as they navigate her cancer diagnosis. Prayers for Martha. May she and everyone have ease and opening this week and in this time. Prayers for Molly as she starts this death doula training. May Jonas, Bridget, and all our dear, well dead be with her now and always. Prayers for Nancy and her recovery for cancer. Prayers for our reconnection, that the sparks in me fuel the fire of love, transforming what is stale and ready to die, separateness. Prayers for my father, wishing him full healing and clarity around his migraines. Prayers for myself, may I have the blend of grace and self-effort to get free, especially in this time as I sit with ways that I must divest from systems of dominance in my own ways of being in order to be free. May I continue to return to a place of not being driven by a sense of wanting to be desired and liked, but from a place of liberating, knowing that I am desirable and beyond worth. Prayers that Dryad find housing soon. Prayers that I find rest and healing. Prayers that my partner find a job soon. For Lauren Kelly, for Grace, for Johnson and Henry, for Janet, her mother, and family. Prayers to my husband, Harry, prayers for his son and daughter and first wife who all passed this January in a plane crash in Nepal. I pray I continue to trust and feel his guidance. Prayers to trusting my heart for what can't be seen but felt deeply. I humbly pray for Medicine Buddha to make me entirely ready to surrender all that keeps me from knowing and touching love and spaciousness. Prayers for myself as I move out of my home of 24 years and to my childhood hometown again. Pray that I find the right home for me in this search for an apartment in this new city, new country where I don't know anyone. Welcome. Pray that John and Bowie lets me live in his second bedroom and that it's a good fit. Pray that I don't lose my job while I am attending my master's program. Pray that I do well in my master's program and that I help people who need it. Bless my friend Meg. Prayers for Elle, who needs and longs for safe, affordable housing. May she be housed and held in love. Prayers for me and my ongoing lack of confidence and trust in myself and my life and my karma. May I know I am valued and trustworthy. Prayers for my brother who does not care about me. May he know his own goodness. Prayers for the lonely, the sad, the fearful, the bereft. May they know love and ease. Prayer for Carla as she is experiencing so much unknown in Barcelona, and may her path be lit up. May she be protected on her new journey. Prayers for Mo and their journey. Prayers for Michelle, Ginger, and their courageous journeys on intensely hard health journey. Prayers for everyone who struggles to have their basic needs met. May they find generosity. May doors be open. For Mo, for James, for everyone who struggles with homelessness, with lack of health care. Hear our prayers. We pray to Medicine Buddha. We pray to all of the beings of light who hear these prayers. Open up for us space around all the things we struggle with. Open up for us faith that we may know we're not struggling alone. Help us feel the truth that we are surrounded by your care and your love, and let us receive your grace. Returning to the mantra, I pray for an end to suffering and the root of suffering. And we send these prayers out to all the worlds that all beings may be free. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begedze maha begedze raza zumunga te soha. Te ata om begitse, begitse, maha begitse, rasa zumungate soha. Allowing our homecoming circle that we've evoked to dissolve into light. Taking in that light and also sending it out into all the world. And sending these prayers out into all the worlds. And letting ourselves just sense the energy of these prayers, of opening this portal, the sweetness of it. And it's okay if we don't feel anything. We're still sitting in it. And just bring yourself, your awareness back to the seat. The room that you're sitting in. Your hands, your feet. And this beautiful prayer of Shantideva. Let's say it together. We're going to say it 3 times. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the living beings, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. One more time. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. We dedicate all the merit of this practice to all beings who need to feel that they are held and loved. And may we receive and keep giving out this grace. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your practice. These mantras really are very powerful. And, some of us when we're chanting them, we can get kind of frisky. That's good. If you find that happening to you, go right ahead. And if you say them quietly in your own heart, that's very good too. So may we keep practicing. May we keep supporting each other. And we've been doing this a long time. Yeah, and thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. So I think you all received our retreats that we brought in tonight, both of us. And thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a beautiful week, and Lama Rod will be back on Monday.